Be careful, William. Meghan and Harry will conspire to sabotage any good cause with pathetic attacks.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the King YouTube channel.
The Invictus Games have come to a close, but I hate to report that still doesn't mean that Meghan and Harry's little show has come to an end. That voice in my head is telling me that William and Catherine especially need to get ready for the next wave of attacks against them. With the interviews they've done in the past, Harry and Meghan caused a lot of damage, and even though the monarch succeeded in recovering from the Oprah and Netflix debacles, I really couldn't handle seeing the two of them get away with even more lying and causing even more controversy, because Meghan and Harry actually do have enough deranged supporters to cause a big tragedy, which is exactly what they're hoping for. Now that Prince Harry has ramped up support for him and Meghan in Germany, where there are literally thousands of Nazi extremists these days, I can see a serious threat to the royal family, especially William and Catherine and their family. Recently, I've been finding it a bit chilling to look at images of the last royal exile and his nasty American wife. During the last Invictus Games, British media were pretty happy to talk about the lack of support from the rest of the royal family, but they didn't bother mentioning the fact that it was William, Catherine, and Charles who worked so hard to make the Invictus Games a reality in the first place. And recently, William donated £1 million to their organization from his phone hacking compensation. We didn't hear anything about Meghan and Harry thanking the royal family, while the two of them would have spent all that money on private jets and designer clothing for Meghan Markle. And at this point, it's common knowledge that Meghan Markle has been a pathological liar since she was a little girl. And if she really does publish a memoir, you know it's going to be chock full of lies encouraged by the publisher, because they know they need sensationalism to get back some money. Meghan can trash the real royal family because she is so desperate to stay relevant. But she's never going to succeed in shaming them because it's all going to be a bunch of lies. And every attempt to feed Harry and Meghan's story of victimization has been disproven. Another problem Meghan Markle is not going to be able to get around is the fact that the real royals work hard. And that's what they're known for. They're not known for simply what they say. They are known for offering amazing support to hundreds of charities and initiatives because they care about these causes, and they don't worry about any fanfare or PR stunts. The real royal family and the monarchy are certainly in safe hands. Their true service, their commitment, their loyalty to the crown, commonwealth, and country really shines through, as they're continuing with the amazing work of the late Queen. And if Meghan Markle really does write a book of memoirs while being married to Harry, it's going to be a pretty short book, I would think. The royal family certainly allowed Harry a few discrepancies in his book, but I don't think they're going to do the same for Meghan. So she needs to be 100% certain of any accusations that she makes in that book, and she needs to have the evidence to back it up. Or I believe the royal family is going to be able to sue her, and I think they would. Another big problem for Meghan is who is going to want to buy this stupid book? I mean, are they going to try to mess with the sales figures to make it out to be a bestseller like they did with Harry's book? And after Meghan publishes her memoir, is any stupid wealthy guy going to be stupid enough to get with her? I wouldn't think so, because she's just going to make it obvious everything that she and Harry threw away. It seems like Meghan Markle is incapable of seeing how she comes across, so I'm sure in any memoir she's only going to make herself look more evil and greedy than she already does. People are not going to stop revealing the truth about how she reached for and she trapped a prince, and also all the damaging things that she has done since then in the last 5 years. All monarchies have their problems with their kids sometimes, and the monarchs themselves sometimes have attitudes, and sometimes we can be shocked by those attitudes. But still, who in their right mind thinks that it's a good idea to fight against a 1,000-year-old family? Meghan Markle, I don't care if she is officially a Duchess of Sussex, she's not going to be able to weaken a world power. Maybe she had the chance to strut at the UN, to rub elbows with heads of state. And maybe she succeeded in that little stunt that she pulled wearing inappropriate clothing during a parade at the Invictus Games. Often, I believe that this entire facade has been carefully orchestrated. And I'm sure that Harry's involved in this. I think that he's getting revenge because his military titles were taken away. One day, though, the truth is going to come out. And then what's going to happen with Meghan Markle? She'll have no choice but to disappear because she will be done. And I'm afraid the royal family will need to do something drastic. If not, I'm afraid Meghan's going to continue to up the ante. I don't think an ordinary family would have put up with this much from such an evil, narcissistic woman. And I think the royal family now understands that this woman their son has married is going to stop at nothing to destroy the family. See, she doesn't have any ounce of shame or dignity, and she's not scared of anything. She is incredibly dangerous. She's evil to the core. And the biggest problem that Meghan and Harry are facing right now is actually us, the public, because we don't adore them like they want to be adored. We're not going to get down on our hands and knees and kiss their feet. In fact, we see them for what they are, a couple of treacherous wannabes. We don't want to buy what they're selling, and that just burns them up because they think that we're as stupid as they are. So we are the problem because we refuse to obey them. We refuse to accept their obvious lies. But that's not going to stop them. They're going to continue to peddle their wares, and by the way, their wares are lies and fabrications, and they expect us to buy it, but we're not going to. And I know they've still got a few loyal sugars, but those people are dwindling in number. And honestly, folks, I don't think that number was ever very impressive to begin with. Their sugar certainly cannot compete with the number of followers of the real royals, people who appreciate the hard work the real royals do. And I'm just glad that on this channel, we have a good group of people who don't believe they're so fascinating and so amazing, who refuse to worship them. Instead, we hang on to our morals and our dignity, just like everybody else should. Meghan and Harry, though, apparently can't get that idea through their thick skulls. They truly believe that they're so remarkable, and we just haven't realized it yet. So it's not that we need less of them. Oh no, we need more of them. They are so incredibly mistaken. They call us haters. We're not haters, we're just not fans, because why would we be fans? I mean, just look at everything they've done. So anyway, I guess in their worlds, we are the problem, because we're not going to buy what they're selling. We're not going to buy their t-shirts. We're not going to buy their coffee mugs. We're not going to buy their books. We're not going to donate to their causes. We're not going to go to their websites. We're not going to listen to their podcasts or watch their documentaries. Because there's nothing of theirs that we would want. We want nothing from them except for them to just go away. They can't even give away copies of Spare or The Bench because who would want those stupid books? But they still insist on shoving themselves in our faces. Let's be honest, Meghan and Harry entertain us because they act like such idiots. They want to be taken seriously, but we can only see them as a couple of jokes because that's what they are. And this is why people say that they're narcissists, because they are unable to see how other people perceive them. And even though they're getting all these messages that maybe they should just stop and lay low, they refuse to. They think that we simply need more of them. On a related topic, let's talk about some of the comments that you left for me in my video, Why Do You Dislike Meghan Markle So Much? Is the cause due to bad behavior like this? Your comments, as always, were excellent, and I want to talk about a few of them right now. First up, we got a comment from Diane D. I was raised to have respect for my family, especially my elders, grandparents, and parents. The way Prince Philip and the Queen were treated by those two, who should not be named, was disgusting and disgraceful. The way they continue to treat their families is incomprehensible. I lost all respect for those two. In fact, I despise them. They are everything wrong with our society. Greedy, manipulative, selfish, and willing to sacrifice anyone to get what they want. They are a total disgrace to humanity. And then we got Kim agreeing, and we have Babblemaker. I absolutely agree with all the above. The Queen was a wise woman, and regardless of her excruciating pain, she was able to warn the family before she died. And then Brock DG and mentally ill, both of them. Well, I don't think it'll surprise you to know that I agree with you too. I also like the point that Diane made about how they're really an example of everything that's wrong in our society. And honestly, folks, that's what I find so fascinating about them, is that they really exemplify all the problems that we see in normal, ordinary people. Thanks again for your comment, Diane, and thanks to everybody else who responded to Diane. I also like this comment from Sassy Grammy. The Queen was being kind when she called her evil. You're right about that. There are other words that I think I could easily use to describe Meghan that in fact are a lot worse than evil, but I'm not going to say them on this channel. And then we got Bonnie. No one likes a sneaky liar. She's offensive. She is incredibly offensive. And that's what I don't understand about her. How does she not realize that? When people are offended by you left and right, that means you're probably the problem. You are offensive. And then GPG, a good person is naturally likable. Same holds true for bad people being easily disliked. It's also true that Harkle has actively pursued the low road every single time there's a choice to do right or wrong. Every single time. She's poison. That's what I see too. That's also why I don't understand why Meghan is so desperate to chase after fame. I mean, you would think eventually she would get the hint that nobody likes her, but she could still enjoy her life. She's got all that money, but it's not enough for her. No, no, no. She wants to be loved and adored. Well, it's never going to happen. Because like you said, it's obvious to everyone with a brain that Meghan Markle is a bad person. Next, a comment from Jan. The B actress thought the firm was her way forward to be popular and Hollywood famous. Then the truth came out. Being a royal is hard work and sacrifice is the key. Not for this grifter. No, she's never going to do any hard work to get what she wants. Why should she work hard when she can just use men to get where she wants to be in life? Thanks for your comment, Jan. And then Paula Weaver, I personally think she should go back to being a high-priced lot lizard. There are some men who would be happy to finance her life because they could brag about being with a former duchess. I don't like her because she is such a user of people and liar. Sometimes I wonder if she does know dirty little secrets which she had to threaten to expose if things don't go her way. At some point, some blackmail victims become tired of it and go public with the secret to end the blackmail. Thank you. Paula, you are not the only one who's wondered what in the world she has on the royal family and Harry especially. I'm convinced it's something. I mean, there's something she is using to blackmail them. Otherwise, there's no explanation for why they allow her to get away with so much of this awful behavior. Diana Wagstaff says Harry has been blindsided by his wife. Meghan needs to stop piggybacking off of others and use her talents to get a job. She changed when she became royal, and she seems insecure about being royal, and rules were meant to be broken, and the royals have rules to live by, and Meghan makes her own rules. She grew up checking her own box. Thank you, Diana, for your comment. I think that you have touched on one of Meghan's biggest problems. She seems to forget the fact that there's a whole world around her. It's not all about her. She doesn't care about this world, though. She just wants to make her own rules and do whatever she wants to do, ignoring everybody else. And so that means she is never going to be happy or satisfied in life. Meghan Markle is never going to be able to just go with the flow because she has got to have things her way. And then Victoria weighs in saying, I didn't trust her in the engagement interview. I couldn't really say why. However, she didn't seem to match her words with her body language when Harry was speaking. She reminded me of another person who wanted worship and couldn't cope with anyone else delivering a speech. I noticed that too. I think Meghan really can't stand it when she's not the one talking because she believes only her words are worth hearing. I also noticed that whenever Harry's talking, Meghan looks so angry, like she absolutely hates him and hates everything that's coming out of his mouth. I guess that's because she's always worried he's going to go off script. The face she makes, though, when he's talking is absolutely terrifying. I can't imagine what happens behind closed doors in that relationship. User Fatima left a somewhat hopeful comment. Fatima says, we don't need to talk too much. One day, a person so nasty as Meghan will get the right treatment for nasty things she has done to people who already done so much for her, like receiving anthrax from her furious enemy, that for sending death threats via her sugar. What goes around comes around. You're right. I mean, I know we get upset about what she's done, but you're right, Fatima. Fate will come for her. Karma will come for her. We don't really need to do anything. Susan Roberts has left another excellent comment. Susan says, the ancient Romans always stated character is destiny. Meghan Markle's character is twisted. She encompasses every negative attribute in life, from excessive vanity to deception and falsehood. She shows no respect. She wants to be the center of attention at all times. She knows no boundaries in polite society. She is incapable of real emotion unless it's love of herself, and then she's all over herself. Her use of people and then their discarding from her life is legendary. But the true measure of a person's character is the way you treat your family. I'm Sicilian. We were taught as children to respect our grandparents and parents, to treasure our siblings because they are blood, and to always support and defend the family. She has violated my code of values I learned as a child and still uphold to this day. The ancient Romans definitely got it. Your character is your destiny. Meghan Markle strikes out on character from A to Z. She lost her character years ago, and it's too late for her to find it. Wow, Susan, thank you for this comment. I mean, it was beautifully written, and you touched on some really important things. You are 100% correct. Meghan Markle is never going to succeed in life because she's a horrible person. And is that something she could change at this point? Probably not. Where did it come from? I don't know. I mean, probably a lack of raising. Obviously, she was not taught the same values as you and I. Could she have developed those values later in life? Well, probably, but I'm afraid now it truly is too late. Thanks again for such an insightful and well thought out comment. And Amari says, quite an attitude problem she has. They, of course. There are beautiful pics of her online, very admirable. Should they engage in a grounded moral compass, what a difference they could make. You're right, and it's sad that they choose to go down such a dark, dangerous path when they could do so much good for the world, but it doesn't look like they're willing to change course anytime soon. And then Sue Clark, you're right, she simply hasn't done anything to make people like her. Indeed. And then we've got Omari again. Watch some videos on 23 Invictus. Clearly depends on the focus of the YouTube content eventually. Though some red lines you do not cross, Harry and Meghan seem to lose their awareness of who they are, hence their brutal behavioral mistakes. That's why the negative comments are so lauded. Isn't it interesting how, even though everybody tells them that their behavior is problematic, they refuse to accept it? They still believe that we're the ones in the wrong, and they are so right. Alright folks, that's all the time that we've got for this video, so please keep those comments coming. Before you go, don't forget to like and share this video with anybody else who would enjoy it.
Please don't forget to subscribe to our The King YouTube channel to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a lovely evening, and we'll be back to see you tomorrow. Bye. I love you all.